news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. The war with Iran may be expanding to a new front. The Iran-backed Houthis claimed their first attack on commercial ships in recent months, targeting 2 Saudi Arabian oil tankers in the Red Sea. President Trump posted that he was very disappointed with this and that he would hold Iran responsible for any further escalation by the Houthis. Bloomberg opinion contributor Gautam Mukunda says it is getting harder for Trump to get the U.S. out of this.
The solution to this problem was to not get into it in the first place, right? Once you're in it, it's really not clear how to get out in any way that is imaginable. So we're conducting strikes that seem like the sort of strikes you would do before you did a ground operation in Iran. But the political costs of that are gargantuan, and the costs of putting American troops on the ground where they will be targets for Iranians are much more so.
Gautam Mukunda with the Yale School of Management and Harvard Kennedy Business School is a Bloomberg opinion contributor. Axios now reporting that President Trump is seriously considering restarting major combat operations in Iran, including strikes that would be bigger than the ones carried out during Operation Epic Fury. Oil now more than 6% higher, WTI topping $92 a barrel, Brent crude more than $100 a barrel. That surge in oil sending stocks and bonds lower, with Wall Street also rattled by renewed concerns over whether massive AI investments will pay off. We'll have more on that just ahead. First, though, let's check those markets for you. We do it all day long here at Bloomberg. S&P 500, 1.2% lower. NASDAQ, 2.1% lower. The Dow, 0.9% lower. The Russell 2000 Index, 0.8% lower. The 10-year Treasury yield at 4.7% and the 2-year yield at 4.35%. The Bloomberg Dollar Spot Index now 0.3% higher. The Philadelphia Semiconductor Index about 1% lower. That's being led by NVIDIA, which is down more than 1.5%. Tesla shares now 13% lower after yesterday's profit miss. And shares of Alphabet now more than 6% lower after it raised its capital spending forecast to a range of $195 billion to $205 billion this year. That's a jump from its previous forecast of $190 billion. Also creating jitters over the cost of AI and reigniting concerns about a lack of fiscal discipline in the race to dominate AI. Mandeep Singh with Bloomberg Intelligence says during the earnings call, Alphabet talked about supply constraints.
They're actually renting data center compute from third-party providers. They want more.
Global head of tech research for Bloomberg Intelligence, Mandeep Singh. Now, on Capitol Hill, the House has once again passed a resolution to stop U.S. military action in Iran. 4 Republicans crossed party lines to vote with Democrats to require congressional approval for the war. The Senate is expected to consider a similar resolution later today. President Trump said a civil nuclear agreement with Saudi Arabia would be contingent on the kingdom normalizing ties with Israel. He also says there would be no enrichment of nuclear material. That agreement allows American companies to expand nuclear energy development in Saudi Arabia. It also raises concerns about a lack of guardrails that could prevent Riyadh from enriching uranium to weapons grade. The Senate Judiciary Committee was scheduled to discuss the nomination of Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche to take that role permanently. Committee Chair Chuck Grassley announced it won't be happening today.
Todd Blanche was listed for the first time and will be held over for future consideration.
Grassley castigating Democrats for their unanimous opposition.
My Democratic colleagues don't like President Trump. They get mad about everything he's done, but thwarting this nomination won't hurt the president. It'll hurt the American people who are now safer thanks to Mr. Blanche's successful leadership.
Republican Senators John Cornyn and Tom Tillis have also not committed to backing Blanche. Their opposition could sink his nomination. President Trump's 10% global tariff is set to expire tomorrow. The Supreme Court struck down a cluster of Trump's tariffs in February. Trump then replaced them with a temporary 10% levy, which would only last 150 days. That clock runs out tomorrow. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says an announcement on what happens next is pending.
Jameson Greer, trade representative, will be having an announcement on that very soon, later today. I don't want to get ahead of him, so I would just tell you to stay tuned for more details.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. A big drop in weekly jobless claims. Just 187,000 new claims were filed last week, the lowest since 1969. Bloomberg's Michael McKee reports it is another sign of a resilient labor market before the Fed's next rate decision next week.
The economy is not slowing down. The labor market is not getting weak. week. And we are seeing almost $100 oil now. Still a long shot, but over 35% chance now that the Fed might raise interest rates.
Bloomberg's Mike McKee, and that's news when you want it. With Bloomberg News Now, I'm Amy Morris, and this is Bloomberg.